Hi guys, welcome. Hope you are all doing good and hope you are loving news in 30 minutes. Okay, so today let us discuss the news in 30 minutes on the 21st of October 2023. Okay, the first issue is about a very unique bird. It has a very unique breeding and nesting habit, and it is very famous. And the bird is the Great Hornbill. The Great Hornbill congregation begins in Valparai. Okay, Valparai is a place in Annamalai Hills. Okay, and this Annamalai Hills, okay, this ANN, Annamalai Hills is in Western Ghats. Okay, it is shared by two states, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Most of it is in Tamil Nadu, but some part of it is in Kerala also. Okay, so this is Annamalai Hills. So this is where the Great Hornbills usually come. They come annually to their traditional roosting sites. Okay, why am I calling it traditional roosting sites? I will come back to it in a few seconds. But the Great Hornbills annually come to this place in Annamalai Hills where they have a traditional roosting sites. That is where they take rest, that is where they breed and they nest. So that is what is known as traditional roosting sites. So just to give you an image, these are the Great Hornbills. Okay, now there are around 9 species of hornbills in India. See, you can see that India is home to 9 species of hornbills. Out of this 9, 4 out of this 9 hornbills are present in Western Ghats. Okay, and one among this hornbill is the Great Hornbills. Okay, they are very famous for their unique breeding and nesting habit. Okay, they are very famous for their breeding and nesting habit. Okay, now what is this uniqueness? Before I tell you the uniqueness, let me tell you that the importance of knowing such information is, last year in prelims they had asked about, or this year prelims they had asked about orangutan and its behavior, how it uses the stick to remove the food from the trees. So orangutan was in news because Indonesia is undergoing huge deforestation under the name of plantation agriculture. Okay, palm trees. So in this deforestation, orangutan is almost coming towards extinction, and so orangutan was in news. Alright, so the point I'm trying to make is, whenever any animal is in news or any bird is in news, it is always pertinent that you develop an interest to learn about the behavior or some interesting fact about these animals. It should not be done purely from exam point of view, it should be done purely from inquisitive and curious mindset point of view. That will spark interest, otherwise it will be more a mechanical exercise. Okay, so coming back to the Great Hornbills, if you take the Great Hornbills, these hornbills have a very unique breeding and nesting habit. Now, before the breeding happens, the males will have an aerial acrobats. There is a fighting that goes on between males. Okay, this mid-air acrobatics is known as cask butting. Okay, so cask butting is basically their beaks. If you see, they have a very prolongated beaks, that is known as casks. As you can see, I'm going to show it here. So these males will have cask butting, that they strike their beaks against one another. So in order to show who is the supreme, and once the winner is decided, this male winner will then give a fruit to the female. The male winner will give a fruit to the female. As you can see in this particular picture, the male will give a fruit to the female. Okay, the male will also do a sound called cock sound in order to call its mate. Okay, these are some of the interesting facts. So let me come back here. So one is, it will have mid-air acrobatics, which is known as cask butting. The second is, it gives a fruit in a manner of sharing with its mate. And the next is, it creates a cock sound in order to call its mate. And the next is, these Great Hornbills are known as secondary cavity nesters. The reason why they are called as secondary cavity nesters is, they stay in the nest made by other birds. They stay in the nest made by other birds. That's why they are called as secondary cavity nesters. Okay. The next is in the breeding, the male and the female after mating. The male and the female after mating, what they do is the female will stay back in the cave. The female will stay back, and then the entire nest is closed. Entire nest is closed. How do they close it? They close it with the help of droppings, their own excreta. With the droppings, they make sure that the nest is closed. Now, this female will stay inside the nest until the egg hatches. So, in the nest, you will have a small vertical slit. Now, from this vertical slit, the male will feed the female. However, till the egg hatches, the female will stay inside the nest. So, this is the unique breeding habit of the great hornbill. Okay, and coming back to that, these great hornbills come annually to Annamalai Hills to their traditional roosting sites. Why am I telling traditional roosting sites? Because there is an habit in great hornbills to come back to the same nest year on year. So after every year they come back to the same nest. That's why they are calling it as traditional roosting sites. Now there is one research that is made by Nature Conservation Foundation. Okay, there is one research done by Nature Conservation Foundation. In this has done a research in Annamalai Hills, and in Annamalai Hills it has identified 5 nests which are used by these great hornbills for the last 27 years. And they are used by the great hornbills for a very long period. So that is why these hornbills come to India annually and they congregate in their traditional roosting sites. Okay, so this is a great scenic beauty for many bird lovers. But the problem what happens is this roosting happens outside the protected areas. Hence, there are very high chances for the man's interference in these activities. So this has to be taken care of. However, this is what is the first issue. The issue is mainly about the great hornbills. Hope you liked it and hope you got an idea of how to go about the information in future when it comes to birds or animals that are in news. Okay. The second issue is the Union Health Minister cautions against the misuse of tech for prenatal sex determination. Okay. What you should understand is sex determination before birth is wrong, is illegal in India. Why is it illegal in India? Because we have an act called PCPNDT Act 1994. What is this PCPNDT Act? It is Preconception, Prenatal, Diagnostic Techniques Act 1994. According to this act, it is the responsibility of the central government in order to stop any misuse of technology or techniques for sex determination. Okay, so any type of sex determination prenatally or all as preconception is wrong. Okay, so that is what this act is all about. So what the health ministry is telling is there are constantly new technologies that are coming in the realm of fertility. So you're seeing in fertility clinics there are different techniques like IVF and other things. So these techniques, with the evolution of these techniques, sex determination also becomes easier. However, according to PCPNDT Act, though technology is advancing, sex determination becomes easy, it should not be done. And this is what the caution is being given by the Union Health Minister. Okay. However, let us also talk about a few facts given by the Health Minister. One thing what you should understand is whatever fact that I give, you need not wait to be used in this act itself. You can use the facts that I am going to give for gender justice, for fetal rights. See, you can use it for different topics. For example, pro-life. Okay, so like this, it is not only, the facts are not only confined to that topic, you can use these facts interoperably in different topics. That's the beauty of facts. However, one information what the Union Health Minister has given is, the Union Health Minister has talked about the PCPNDT Act and its implementation. Okay, and in its implementation, the Union Health Minister tells, if we compare 2015 to 2018, okay, and if we take the number of cases and the convictions, if we take the number of cases and convictions, in 2015 there were 2048 cases. Now in 2018 there is 3653 cases, and convictions were only 271. Now we have convictions of around 713. As you can see, this shows that the implementation has been successful. This shows that the fetal rights are upheld. This shows pro-life. This also shows gender justice. As I told you, you can keep using it in different realms, not only in paper 2 but also in paper 4. Alright. However, this is one information that the Union Health Minister has given. Also, the Union Health Minister has used a survey called, or states the survey called Sample Registration Survey Report. Okay, SRS report 2020. According to this report, the Union Health Minister says 1. Sex ratio at birth. Sex ratio at birth has increased by 3 percentage points. Has increased by 3 percentage points from the year 2017 to the year 2019. So it was 904, now it has come to 907. That again shows our success in making sure the gender justice is done. Okay. The next is the same survey. The Union Health Minister states in the same survey that out of 22 surveyed states, out of the 22 surveyed states, 12 states showed improvements in their sex ratio at birth. Okay, so this is again a bunch of facts that is showing the successful implementation of the act, the governance, and if implemented through its truest spirit, we can always see positive outcomes. That can also be an example of this. Gender justice, fetal rights, pro-life, respecting the fetus even before it is born. So these are different ways you can link to this information. Okay. However, these are some of the facts that is given by the Union Health Minister. This is given in the realm of the rise of new technologies that can help in sex determination, which should not be done under the PCPNDT Act 1994. Okay. So this is the second issue of the day. The third issue of the day is the Ministry of Home Affairs focuses on boosting infrastructure along international borders. Okay, in GS3 you have internal security, and in internal security border management is a topic, so you should have a very good clarity of some facts in border and what is the current status in every border with different countries with respect to India. Okay, so let me give you a broad overview of the northern land border. Okay, the northern land border is it is shared between India and 7 countries. Usually in the internet they give you India and 6 countries, they skip Afghanistan, but what you should not forget is India shares a border with Afghanistan. However, it is currently occupied by Pakistan. Okay, it is the Gilgit-Baltistan region of Kashmir that is currently occupied by Pakistan. So overall India shares its border with 7 countries. Okay, and India has an overall border of 15,107 kilometers, around 15,107 kilometers of land border. Okay, so these are the two things. The next is, in order to improve the land border, the government of India has brought 2 schemes. One is border infrastructure and management scheme. Okay, border infrastructure and management scheme. This is known as BIA scheme. And the second that it has brought is vibrant villages program. Okay, this was given in budget 2023 and this is planned from 2023 to 2026. Okay, so when I talk about BIA scheme, it is basically to improve the infrastructure within the border. That is, basically it is to do with increasing floodlights, fences, posts, So it is mainly to do with the border as such. Whereas if we come to Vibrant Villages program, this is mainly to do with the population in the villages, border villages. Okay, so this is mainly concentrating on improving the quality of life of the people. Okay, so how do we improve the quality of life of the people? By providing them connectivity. This connectivity need not be always physical connectivity, but also digital connectivity, providing them electricity, providing them water. So these are the ways in which you improve the quality of life of people along the border villages. That is what is the Vibrant Villages program. When you come to border infrastructure and management, it is mainly to do with increasing floodlights, increasing more of infrastructure that will boost our security. That is what is the BIA scheme talking about. So this is what is the this article talking about, to improve our northern land border, that is of almost 15,000 kilometers. Now let us also talk a few things about prelims perspective. As you can see, I have told you that India shares its border with Afghanistan. I'm sorry, let's go like this: Afghanistan, Bhutan, Myanmar, Nepal, Pakistan, China, as well as Bangladesh. Okay, so this is given in ascending order. Okay, now this you should have an idea. The largest border that India has with a country is Bangladesh. So it is the first or the largest, and the least border is Afghanistan, that is the 7th, or you can also say the 6th is Bhutan. Okay, so the first largest border is Bangladesh, the second is China, the third is Pakistan, the fourth is Nepal, 5th is Myanmar, 6th is Bhutan, 7th is Afghanistan. Okay, so overall the land border comes up to 15,106 kilometers. Okay, you should also know what are the different security agencies that take care of the border. Okay, now if I take Pakistan and Bangladesh, the security force that are in charge is Border Security Force, or it is also called BSF. They are the one who are in charge of guarding our borders between India and Pakistan, as well as India and Bangladesh. Okay, the next is, if you take China, the China border with India is mainly guarded by Indo-Tibetan Border Police. Okay, the next is with Myanmar. With Myanmar, the forces that are responsible is Assam Rifles. That's why in the ongoing issues in Manipur, you're seeing Assam Rifles constantly keep popping up. The reason is they are the main forces responsible for guarding the border with Myanmar. So Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. So these 4 states with Myanmar is basically guarded by the Assam Rifles. The next is Bhutan and Nepal. Bhutan and Nepal are guarded by Sashastra Seema Bal. Okay, so this is a security force that guards our Bhutan as well as Nepal. As I told you, Afghanistan is currently it shares our border with Gilgit region of India. However, this Gilgit region of India is currently under Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So this is the overall update of the Indian land border. Okay, this is more or less the issue about this Indian land border. The last issue of the day is Gaganyaan Mission. ISRO is set to test its first test flight. Okay, so if you are listening to it now, the first test flight has been successful. The crew module that was aborted and was tested was successfully landed. Okay, now what is this Gaganyaan Mission? Okay, Gaganyaan Mission is the first human space flight mission of ISRO. Okay, that is one. So it wants to send humans to space. So basically the idea is to send 3 crew members up to the altitude of low Earth orbit. Low Earth orbit is somewhere close to 400 kilometers, and to make them stay for a period of 3 days, and then make them come back through safe landing. Okay, that landing occurs through a crew module, and this module can land over Bay of Bengal as well as, or it can land in Arabian Sea. Okay, so basically the crew module that will come back on Earth and it will land over Bay of Bengal and or Bay of Bengal or Arabian Sea. This module has to be tested. So to test all the different modules, the ISRO has kept TV1, TV2 as well as TV3. That is test vehicle 1, test vehicle 2 and test vehicle 3. Test vehicle 1 occurred today. So this was basically to test the safe landing of crew module, and this landing has happened. Okay, so this is a crew module that was ejected from the rocket, and that particular crew module opened up with a parachute and came and landed over the oceans. So there was no humans this time. The test flight was with no humans. It was just that the crew module was made to eject, and there was all the parameters that were tested. If the ejection happened properly, if the parachutes opened up clearly, and the landing was safe. So that was the main idea of this test flight 1. Okay, the next is test vehicle 2, that is going to happen next year, the early next year in the month of January. Now this test vehicle 2 will carry a humanoid. This test vehicle 2 will carry a humanoid, and this humanoid is known as Vyom Mitra. Okay, so this Vyom Mitra is basically a humanoid that is sent in the crew module so that it can monitor the parameters, and also it can raise alerts inside the crew module, basically to mimic all the different functions that a human can do inside the crew module will be done by this humanoid. This humanoid is developed by ISRO as ISRO itself. Okay, so this is what is the Gaganyaan mission. So it was successful in testing in our test vehicle 1. So we have 2 more tests. After that we will be going for the live launching of the human space flight, which is the first mission of human space flight of ISRO. Alright, so these are some of the issues of the day. I hope these were interesting and you were able to connect these issues with the syllabus of UPSC. That is the most important aspect. Whatever you read in current affairs, you should be able to link it with the syllabus of UPSC. If you're doing that, that means you're doing it right. Okay, so with that, I'll take adieu. Thank you so much. Please make sure that you like, share and subscribe to this video. Make sure that this video reaches to as many people as possible so that I am motivated to do this on a daily basis. Thank you so much guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.